So there's a point that I neglected to make in my first video regarding Santa Semana. If you haven't already seen that, this is part two, and this is a point that I was thinking about today, and I said there's some kind of contradiction of ideas. So like I said in my last video, most people, at least from my personal experience, most people do not cover their orishas during Santa Semana. It used to be you would cover your orishas during Santa Semana. No, there were no readings. There were no tambores. Your bóveda is taken down. The water is removed. The copa is put upside down, and there's no nothing. Everything is in repose. Most people do not do that today, as I explained in my last video. That's something it's a tradition I personally choose to uphold. I choose to. Most people do not do that today. Why? Like, I'm not Catholic, and we're not slaves, and that's the colonizer mindset, and my religion doesn't go to sleep simply because of Jesus. I don't believe in Jesus. He ain't no King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's not my religion. So I don't believe in Easter and Good Friday and having respect for Jesus during Semana Santa. There's nothing to it. My religion is going to continue, and I'll do whatever tambores and readings, whatever it is I want to do. Inversely, I notice, and if you're one of these people, no shade to you, it's just an observation that I've made. The same people that choose not to cover their orishas and defend it as we are not Catholic and there's nothing special about Jesus, there's nothing special about Good Friday or Easter or anything, are usually the same people that will go out of their way to say, oh no, I have to do something with palo, and this is just a super duper strong time to do works, whether positive or negative. The idea with the negative, especially on Good Friday, paleros like to throw, I guess, the most powerful brujeria imaginable during Friday and Saturday, specifically Good Friday, because it's seen as a mockery to Jesus Christ. And in that mockery, it's working more with evil, working more with Satan. So if you don't believe that there's any truth to Jesus Christ being King of Kings and Lord of Lords, Good Friday, the idea of Good Friday is that Jesus has died and will resurrect on the third day. And if you don't believe in Jesus, and you don't believe in anything of the Catholic Church, and you don't believe in covering your orishas, why is it that many people those same people will go out of their way to do workings? A lot of paleros will use this time to do black magic. I know someone who wants to do an exorcism because it represents new beginnings, and apparently there's a bunch of people praying. It's just a time. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are just times of super praying, especially Friday, Saturday, praying. So for new beginnings, because it represents the resurrection of Christ. So removing the old, removing causas, and the idea of mocking Jesus. So let's make prenda judías, like Jewish prendas, evil prendas, and just wicked, it's just the best time to do the most diabolical witchcraft, and I want to kill all my enemies because it's such a strong time during Semana Santa. So do you see the contradiction there? How can people say that doing palo and whatever kind of work can be a positive, negative, good, evil, light, dark, what have you? How can anyone say that workings during this week, and especially Good Friday, is extra powerful and charged with all the energy of the universe during the same week and the same day that they don't believe in? Am I making sense? It's good to do the darkest of brujeria works during Good Friday because it's mocking Jesus Christ, and you're gonna work with Satan. But you don't believe in Satan, and you don't believe that there was ever a Jesus. And Jesus, or if you do believe in Jesus, he was just a man. He was no God. He's nothing like the Catholics, make. He was not God on earth. He's not Olofin. For some people, my last video, I showed that I have a crucifix with Jesus Christ on top of my orishas, which also is always as the crown of Maya Watara, which others would say that's, that's sancocho, that's awful, that's a slave mindset. You don't have to do that no more. Only the old people do that. They're antiquated. So how come it's seen that brujeria and removing hexes or giving hexes to people during this week, especially Friday? Oh, there's so many people praying, and we have to. A lot of people throw palo fiestas and drummings on Good Friday, specifically Good Friday, because it's seen as such a dark time and a good time for palo and strongness, and the energy is just aligned for some extra strongness and empowerment of whatever work you're doing, or if you're making a prenda judía or something. It's just super powerful. But on that same token, you don't believe in nothing that has to do with Jesus Christ and the church and the theology of Christianity. So for me, it's one or the other, because if you don't believe in any of this Catholic stuff, and there's no such thing as Good Friday and the resurrection and Jesus Christ and all that, well then, I don't know, pick a different day to say that a week is extra powerful. I don't know, friggin' choose Halloween, which apparently that's another day that people choose, but make it on Halloween and have nothing to do with Semana Santa at all. Because if there's no Jesus, there's no nothing. We're not Catholic. We don't believe in that. Get all those saints out of my rishas. This is not Santeria. This is la regla de ocha. That's fine. That's fine, and I respect that. But then don't use the same week that you are claiming has zero significance in the religious world, or in Santeria, or in Palo, and then choose specifically Semana Santa to do works because of Christian theology of Jesus Christ being dead. That's basically what it represents. A lot of people like to do dark works on Good Friday. The idea being that Jesus is dead and God is not watching. So let me do all the most diabolical shit, and the most diabolical shit that you can do in Palo, and whatever other religions out there, and hex people and curse people and freaking put human blood in a prenda and shit during Good Friday, because God has his back turned, because Jesus isn't looking, so you can get away with more. But if you don't believe if you don't believe in Jesus and Good Friday and the resurrection and all that and Semana Santa, well then the idea of more power being during Semana Santa is null and void. I hope I'm making sense. I know I'm just talking in circles by now, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. For me and the Lagbalagba's of old, Semana Santa was a time and is a time of spiritual repose. Now, I will not speak for paleros. Maybe Tata Gaitan, Ibae, maybe him, and I certainly can't speak for Abacua. I don't know what goes on in Palo and Abacua, but maybe that's what they did. Maybe Tata Gaitan used specifically Semana Santa for workings, and that's what he taught, and of course his followers and lineage of Palo and all that. I don't know, but Semana Santa is specifically famed for, when it comes to the ATRs, for Palo, specifically Palo. But you have santeros that say, no, I'm gonna still do readings, and shoot, there even that I know of, there's a tambor for a santo this Saturday. In the old days, that would be completely unheard of. How are you going to throw a tambor in the middle day during the second day of Jesus' death, when it's supposed to be a time of mourning? Now, people don't think about these things, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying, have consistency. Either Semana Santa has no relevancy to these ATRs, and Jesus is not the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and he's completely irrelevant to these ATRs and should not be involved in Palo, Ocha, nothing. Or he does have a significance, and it is exactly why people, specifically paleros, choose to hold certain ceremonies, positive or negative, diabolical or of light, specifically during Semana Santa, and specifically for Good Friday, because they see truth in the theology of Christianity, that Jesus died on Good Friday and rose again on the third day, and sits at the right hand of God. Yes or no? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Peace out.